Welcome back to the Airways AvFix and this week's news recap. As the aviation industry continues to rebound from the effects of the ongoing global pandemic, it seems for some aspects of the industry there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Alaska Airlines has taken steps to recall over 900 pilots who took an extended leave at the height of the COVID pandemic. The extended leave, the Seattle Times reported on Friday, was designed to protect pilots from furloughs, with pilots receiving pay at about 60% of normal wages and full benefits. The airline, in addition to inking a recent code-share agreements with Qatar Airways, is also gearing up for the arrival of Boeing 737-9s and a strong winter presence in Mexico. With the recall of pilots from the extended leave, Alaska has also welcomed a class of new hire pilots, according to the Seattle Times. The outlet reported in an internal memo, Captain John Ladner, Vice President of Operations at Alaska, said, "We are growing our airline back from the deep cuts we made in 2020. With old pilots returning and new hires joining the team, it's safe to say the training centers at Alaska will be relatively busy in the coming weeks." Flag carrier Qantas has confirmed it will run its dual direct route again from Australia to London Heathrow via Darwin. The national carrier has agreed to temporarily reroute its flights from Melbourne and Sydney through Darwin after reaching a deal with the Northern Territory government and Darwin Airport. The news comes as international flights begin next month with the reopening of Australia's border. The Darwin hub arrangement will be in place in time for the reopening of the borders on November 14, 2021, and will last until at least April 20, 2022, when London flights resume using Perth. While this is only a temporary tweak to the route, Qantas says it will keep an eye on how it performs and is open to what it could lead to in the future. The Sydney-Darwin-London route will launch on November 14th, while the Melbourne-Darwin-London line is set to launch on December 18, 2021, but could launch sooner if the Victorian government agrees to shorter quarantine provisions for returning visitors. In detail, Qantas will take off on November 14, 2021, departing Sydney 5 times a week at 6:30 p.m., land in Darwin at 9:25 for a brief refueling stop ahead of the 13,800-kilometer, 17-hour, 20-minute direct journey to London's Heathrow Airport. Along with the Sydney to London via Darwin service, Qantas will restart its flights from Sydney to Los Angeles in November. This November, British Airways will welcome back its first A380 aircraft and launch its busiest schedule since March 2020, with new services to destinations throughout the world, including the United States. In November, British Airways A380 will fly to a variety of short-haul locations to allow crew familiarization, followed by flights to Miami and Los Angeles in the U.S., as well as Dubai in December. Following the declaration that vaccinated British citizens will be able to travel to the U.S. starting in November, news of the airline's A380 aircraft rejoining its fleet has emerged. This winter, the airline plans to fly to 23 U.S. airports with up to 246 flights per week from London Heathrow, the most of any transatlantic carrier. As the industry rebounds, we will continue to share the latest news and aviation insight videos. Consider subscribing and turning on notifications to stay up to date on all the latest from the Airways team. For Airways Magazine, this is Rick Rosenbaum.